We expect to learn more in the coming weeks what mediation will look like for the Robbinsdale School District. In early December, the Robbinsdale School Board asked a third-party mediator to improve communications and relationships between board members.
We have to be very careful on that the abusers and the abuse makers are not recommending the prescription for how the folks that have felt harmed are feeling.
The board decided to ask an outside firm to recommend the mediator and schedule a public meeting. The board does not expect to make any policy decisions during mediation sessions.
What I will not be subject to is going into a closed session and being harassed in a closed session or sent emails to and being name called.
Things have been pretty bad, and it's a matter of opinion of who the abuser is. Yeah. That one is not, I'm not going to accept my colleagues determining that for me.
Reporter Shannon Slatton sat down with school board chair Helen Bassett to talk more about reasons for the mediation. That's today's Newsmakers.
This is an important time for us to have mediation. As you may know and probably do, we're right on the cusp of preparing to hire a new superintendent for our school district. If there ever was a time when we all need to be kind of clear of any impediments that might be based in anything other than our work, you know, if it's that personality or some hurt feeling of some sort or another, that needs to be managed, but all of that is important to manage outside of this. So mediation to help us make sure that the main thing that we're there for, we're colleagues. So the main thing is professional relationships among colleagues, and to build some trust, because I didn't know any of, of the 4 new people who've come to our board, I really didn't know them personally. And this is the same for them with me. So until you really work with people for a while and develop some level of trust in them and understand their personalities, you can get sidetracked on things that really aren't the reason you're there.
All right. And we'll learn a little bit more about what this will look like probably in the coming weeks. Is that right?
Well, we probably will. And I hope to have a conversation with the vice chair, the superintendent, and perhaps an additional board member to really kind of help flesh that out a little bit more so that we do have a process. We have the beginning of the process, but maybe some more important questions about that. So I'm looking forward to it. Right. You know, I'm open to it, looking for it. Well, of course, I propose the resolution, because I think it's very important. Yeah.
And you guys have some big things to tackle this year, from budget challenges, of course, to superintendent search.
Yes.
Are you optimistic?
I'm very optimistic, and that's another reason for mediation. I think all of us can agree that there are some things we'd like to see improved related to the district. Even as a parent, I felt that way. That's democracy. We get to poke a finger at the things that we invest in, and everybody invests in that. And so everybody has a fair voice to talk about it. But I do think that as we talk about the budget in particular, we've got to look down the road and see we need to have a short-term lens and a kind of a medium-term lens, but we really do need to have a long-term lens. We know that enrollment across the nation is falling. And then particularly in districts such as ours that are so transitional, even more important than we are clear about the things that are good about this district, the things that we need to work on so we can work on them, so they can get better. That's really our responsibility. And I think we can get there. I mean, it's a great school district. Of course, I can't help but say we have IB, International Baccalaureate program, from primary years to the middle years program. Our students can get an IB diploma. We have the advanced placement classes. We have language offered all over the place, and I had the great pleasure of seeing our students who got to go to India and came in first place worldwide, and there are all kinds of things like that are happening all over this district. But when something troubling happens, that gets a lot of energy, and concern, rightly so. Sure. But then what happens is many of the good things don't get talked about. And that's really unfortunate because I think we don't want the narrative out there to overshadow the good things. But at the same time, listening to our students, for example, like we listened to them this last Monday night, when they told us, here's some of the things I'm experiencing and I'm not happy, and we want you to be accountable and help change it. They said that to the school board. And so you want young people who are grounded enough that they can come and talk to you in a respectful way, and they can tell you what the experience is. I'm very much looking forward to the time, which won't be long. I can't make an announcement now, when I can actually go visit in the classrooms. I've been working all my life with a career, and I've not been able to really go be the granny reader.
All right.
I'm giving myself a name.
Okay,
Granny
right there, you heard it here.
Granny reader, and read to the classrooms, and and be a volunteer support in the buildings. I'm looking forward to that. I haven't had that opportunity. That wasn't that wasn't your question, but
it wasn't. But
yeah.
It's good for you to be here. Thank you for being here and talking about both the challenges and the successes of the district.
Oh, thank you,
Helen
Shannon.
Bassett with Robbinsdale School Board. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much.
Meanwhile, after about a year and a half of searching, Wayzata Public Schools found a new home for its administrative staff. The district spent nearly $8 million on a former office building in Plymouth at Xenium Lane and 12th Avenue. Currently, the district's administration staff is spread across 5 sites. With a single office building, families new to the district will be able to register at a central location. Staff will move into the building in February and March. School officials say the larger building leaves room for the district to grow.
But the number one thing that we saw was it is move-in ready, furnished completely, and all of our staff can be located here.
The district used bonding dollars to pay for the building.
The Wayzata boys hockey team skates into the weekend with an unbeaten record and a #2 ranking in Class AA. In this week's CCX Sports Spotlight, we meet a family of second-generation Trojan athletes helping to get their team to the top.
It's another day at the rink for the Wayzata boys hockey team. Most of these guys have spent countless hours on skates, and practices, and games since they were little. But 4 of them in particular share a bond that goes beyond hockey. Senior forward number 20, Britton Alstead, and his younger brother Ryder, number 34, are first cousins to senior goalie Gage Alstead, number 1, and sophomore forward number 26, Eli Moldy. The fact that all 4 are either varsity or junior varsity players this season is pretty fun.
Something that obviously we've all kind of been dreaming about since we were little. Like obviously just making the team, but then being able to all be on at the same time is really cool.
We've all just kind of like grown together and kind of like all helped each other like grow and develop, and it's just been really great having like a sidekick or duo. Like Eli's my age, we've been doing it together basically, and Britton and Gage are same age, so they've been doing it together too.
Britton has the most varsity experience of the 4 and currently leads the unbeaten Trojans in assists and is one of the team's leading scorers.
If I ever have questions, he's been through it. He's been doing this for 3 years. If I ever have questions, I just ask him, and he'll tell me what he thinks on the subject.
And it's not just at the arena for games and practices that you'll find these 4. The other 3 cousins often gather to play at Eli's house on nights or weekends.
Eli's got a pond in his backyard, so maybe twice a week he'll say, Gage, come grab your stuff. We want to shoot on you. Usually get hit in the head a couple times out there, but yeah, it's just a great time, and being able just to like all the cousins out there at once. You don't really get that a lot. He makes the rink, and we all help build it, and over there basically every night, losing pucks, shooting over the net, and hitting Gage in the face a couple times. But yeah, it gets really fun.
And these aren't the first athletes from their family to don the blue and gold for Wayzata. Britton and Ryder's dad Ryan, that's him on the right, and Gage's dad Brady on the left, played hockey and graduated from Wayzata in the early 1990s. The youngest Alstead sibling of that generation, Tiffany, is mom to Eli and now sister-in-law to Megan, Britton and Ryder's mom. Tiffany and Megan both played soccer at Wayzata. The Alstead boys of the 90s played a big role in getting the current generation ready to play.
My dad especially, and Gage's dad, they've coached us all the way up. I think my dad was my head coach. First year playing hockey, up almost all the way. He helped coach Ed and helped out on the ice, so it's really special. Neither of my parents played hockey. I really kind of got into hockey because of my cousins and because my uncles played hockey, and they just kind of started skating, loved it, and kind of just playing ever since.
They all have that kind of work ethic, kind of just, rink rat mentality. I think that comes from having family, that is in the game, or brothers that are in the game. And, Gage is a goaltender, so it's obviously different, but he comes from goalie lineage as well. And so I think it's just a good family that, just loves to be around the rink and, really bleeds the blue and gold.
The Wayzata teams from Ryan and Brady's era never made it to the state high school tournament. More recently, the Trojans last made state 3 years ago. To make it this year, with this unique family connection, it's not only a goal, we hope it will become a dream come true.
I think that'd be a unique experience. Not many people get to experience something like that. So I think that would just be awesome. Hopefully we can do it this year.
There are 7 Alstead and Moldy kids in all, and all of them athletes, 6 in hockey and 1 in dance. Later this month, Wayzata makes the long trip up north to War Road to take part in Hockey Day, Minnesota. The Trojans will play Moorhead. For the CCX Sports Spotlight, I'm John Jacobson.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.